I'm going to show you how to laminate the legs, and to do this you're going to need a matching lamination jig, and you can tell they're matching because in this case they've got A and A, or it may be B and B, so we need a matching lamination jig. You're going to need some PVA glue. In this case I'll put it in a cup. If you can get a brush, that's great, it just makes it a little bit quicker to get the glue on. And we need a set of veneers. Now these are 4 veneers that have been made. Sometimes you might need 5 veneers, it depends on the thickness. But when these are stacked together, when added together, these should come to roughly 15. In this case they're coming to about 13 millimeters. That's absolutely fine. In most cases it'll be 4 veneers. In instances, on the odd occasion it might be 5. So what we do is we stack the veneers so that they are in the order that we're going to use them, and we pay particular attention to the veneers that will be on the outside. And what I've done is I've selected veneers where the grain is quite good, and you'll also notice that the grain is going in this direction. These veneers, which are going to go in the centre, these are bendy ply. This is bendy ply, and you'll notice that the grain goes in the opposite direction, and the good thing about that is it makes it nice and easy to bend. This is going to form the inside veneer, which will be facing outside, and I'm going to stack that in that. So let's start that again, I think. Right, okay, so start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to need a series of veneers to create your laminated leg. Usually you'll need 4 veneers. There might be some instances where you need 5. What's important is when you add these together, they should come to approximately 15 millimeters. In this case they come to 13, but that's absolutely fine. We stack the veneers up in the order that we're going to glue them together, and you'll notice that the grain goes along the length on this veneer here, and we've got the same thing here, the grain going in the length of the leg. If you look at the 2 inside veneers, you'll notice that the grain goes across, and the good thing about that is it makes it easier to bend. So we stack the veneers out, we lay them out in the order that we're going to stick them together. We're going to get our brush, and then we're going to apply a liberal amount of glue to the surfaces of each of the veneers. Now if you're using bendy ply, it does soak glue up quite a lot, so it's important to add quite a lot of glue. It's also good to have the adhesive so that it goes right up to the edges of each piece. That's the first one done. Second one done. It might be a good idea to put newspaper underneath the wood when you're doing this so that you create less mess on the worktop. So the second one nearly done. And then we're going to do the third one. Get our PVA, and we put our PVA on our third piece. You'll notice that I put PVA glue on 3 out of the 4 pieces, and it'll become apparent why I've done that in a moment. We now get the veneers and we just stack them one on top of the other. We get our final veneer and we just stack them on top like that. The next thing that we need to do is we're going to get our jig, our lamination jig, and we need to open up the vise as far as it will open. We place the jig into the vise. This stage is easier if you have got an assistant to help you. So we've placed our jig into the vise, we've got our veneers at the ready, and what we're going to do is we're going to place the set of veneers into the jig. Okay, it's a little bit fiddly, may help if you have two people. What we're now going to do is push the lamination jig and the veneers onto the bars that run at the bottom of the vise. And what we can now do is we can wind the vise up and we clamp it nice and tight. And if you've done this correctly, what you should notice is that there's glue that will ooze out from the layers of the veneers. There's a line here, and the purpose of that line is we want to try and keep everything nice and central, and that's how we do the lamination. The glue, the wood needs to stay into the lamination jig for a minimum of 4 hours. Ideally, it needs to stay in for 24 hours for it to fully dry. There will be times when you need to take this out of the vise, maybe because there's another lesson straight after you. If that's the case, what you need to do is get two G-clamps. Okay, so I've got two G-clamps here. And what I can do is I can place one on the side there, one on the side there. And then what we can do is, once we've tightened those, we can now take this out of the vise. The good thing about taking it out of the vise is you can see here, you can see the glue that's oozing out, the different veneers, and you can also see that everything is nice and flat, and that's what it should look like when you take it out of the jig. So that's how we laminate the veneers together to form the curved leg.